Thank you for tuning in to this conversation with the Real Mindset Podcast. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy the episode. Generally, the importance of planning can be applied to your personal life, your business, and I would say your family is something we don't really think about enough.
That's true.
Especially when it comes to kids and like what age do you want to. I was just looking at something on the way in here, and it said like, what age should you teach your kids about credit? And it was like a 3. For some reason, there was a right answer on there. It was like you had to choose, and I chose under 7, and it said it was wrong. Apparently, you're supposed to teach them from 8 to 11, and then the other option was 11 plus. But
plus is forever.
Yeah, but like when is there a right answer to when you should teach your kid about credit? But when you're planning for your family, that's like something that should come up, like,
right?
When you're planning for your children, like
that is true.
And then your personal life planning, I would say planning breaks is important.
We're doing that too,
bruh. We were just talking about. I had never been on a staycation before. Anytime I took a break from my W-2 job, I'd be in another city somewhere. But
right.
That wasn't always necessary. You know, you could plan that better, where you just take a mental break, sit back, meditate on some stuff, figure out your next move. I'm not that good at planning. Like, I plan when something huge is coming up, but like in general, I'm usually just gonna do it. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, I'm typically the same way, but it's like with certain stuff, you have to just sit down. Like I mean, this is, and I'm not this guru, this planning guru. Like, I haven't been doing this for years. This is actually the first year I'm doing this. Yeah. This is the first year I'm doing this. So, it was just something that I picked up, actually at the beginning of this year. I had a conversation with one of my mentors, and we're airing, right? We're live, right? All right, cool. Had a conversation with one of my mentors, and he showed me something like this. I think they can see this. He showed me something like this that he had, and inside of that was just his yearly goals. You know what I mean? For everything that he wanted to accomplish for that specific year. And I was like, wow, I never thought about doing something like that. We hear about vision boards and all that stuff, but he just put his inside of a portfolio.
And do you change that? Like, is it fluid, or do you lock it in for the beginning of the year?
It's pretty much locked in, but I mean, sometimes things change, so you can add. Like, I added one item to it this year, throughout the year, but
give yourself a little grace.
Yeah. So it's not like, I mean, it's your planning, but I feel like you should try to stick to it, though. I feel like you should try to stick to it as much as you can. I had one goal in there where I wanted to have X amount of cars in my book of business, but, I can't always see the future. We actually had, some team members that moved away, some team members that dropped off. So the number of cars that I thought I would have or shoot for, it actually drastically changed. So I had to readjust it. Like, okay, we had, we were short staffed, so we can't hit that number. It's going to be really challenging. We're not going to hit that number, but while we're short staffed and we kind of rent back up after a while, like, I just had to adjust the number.
They just made me think of, there has to be a line between planning and projecting. Because planning is what you're going to do, and then projecting is like the outcome of that.
Right.
So as long as you have a solid plan in place, like, the projections is like the latter problem, if you will. As long as your plan is solid, it is what it is. It's like going into a football game. It's like, you got a game plan.
Yeah,
we're going to stick to our game plan.
Right.
We don't know what's going to happen, but we know we got this game plan, and that should deliver good results.
Yeah, it should. And sometimes, like, if something happens and something changes, we can't predict everything that's going to happen. When something happens, you got to make those adjustments, just like in football.
Snow.
Yeah, like halftime adjustments. We thought they was going to do this. We thought they was going to zig. They zagged. Like, So sometimes you got to make some adjustments in there. But I think it's huge. At least if you put it on paper, if you work on putting it on paper, and you hold yourself accountable to it. I look at this every single day when I come into the office.
That's hard.
Monday through Friday. That's the first thing I do before I log onto my computer, before I turn on the music, before I check my email. This is the first thing that I do every single day, is look at my yearly goals, and I look at every single one. And some mornings I have to catch myself, because some mornings I'm like breezing through it. But then when I catch myself doing it, I stop. And I'm like, I have to tell myself, this is important. Like that's why I get here early. So I take my time and I look at it. I'm going to hit this. I'm going to hit that. I'm going to hit this. I'm going to hit that. This is how I'm going to do it. And I find that when you concentrate on it that much and you work on it every single day, not only does it happen because you got processes in place, but it also helps to manifest this stuff too.
It's free throws. That's like self-accountability.
It is.
Hey, nobody gonna make you shoot your free throws.
Right.
Man. You gotta shoot your free throws.
Right. Right. That's what I do, man.
So planning as it pertains to family, business, and your personal life. It's all important. What else? Before we wrap up, what other like things should we be considering? I think those are the big three. But like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I would say, business, and it's not even just business. Like as an employee, what goal are you trying to hit? Especially if you're in sales.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do? What goals are you trying to hit? And what I also did was I brought my wife into it. We have goals that we're trying to hit as a family, like you just touched on. You know what I mean? Like if you're trying to pay down credit, if you're trying to buy a house, if you're trying to work on saving money to send your kids to college, if you're trying to maybe create some type of financial nest egg in a savings, or we are working on getting our trust squared away. You know what I mean? So that's in our plans for next year. So, think about, my biggest thing is this, like at the end of the day, when I call it fall planning, I do it around this time of the year. I'm going to start doing it this time of year every year. This is my first year doing it. But the biggest thing that I think of is, what is it that I'm missing? What are those things that I always said I need to do that, but I never do it because life happens every single day and it doesn't slow down? What am I going to take time out and just spend a day to say, all right, we're going to put this on our schedule to get it done, like a trust. And another thing that I think about is, where do I want to get better? Whether that's physical health, whether that's mental health, whether that's building credit, creating a cash reserves, making more money. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is, what do I want to get better at? So those are the two things. What do I want to make time for that's important that I haven't made time for, i.e. going to the gym, right? And what do I want to get better at?
Yeah, I would think measurable goals as well. Everything measurable. But we wrap it up, man. I think what's crazy is you got 3 questions and the same answers. It's the same answer for all 3 questions. What's the first step to starting a business? A plan. What's the first step to starting a family? A plan. Yeah. What's the first step to getting your life together? A plan.
A plan. Have a plan.
Yeah. That's something real.